Use facial expressions in that.
Okay.
All
Alright, so
I'm ready.
so basically, I just wanted to start by saying thank you
You're
for
welcome.
being part of this video.
Anytime. You know I love you.
Uh,
I'm not allowed to say that?
yes, yes,
Okay.
yes. So just to start, I just wanted to let you know that when I ask you a question, just please include the question in your answer. For example, if I say, how long does it take you to come from your house to John Jay? You have to say, the time that
It takes me.
to come to, yeah.
Okay.
So in all the questions, just please be mindful that you enter that in your answer.
Mm-hmm.
Please.
All right.
Thank you.
10-4.
Yeah. Okay, so then, what's your name? What's your major in John Jay? And what year are you?
My name is Kendall Jordan. My major is ICJ, International Criminal Justice, and I am a senior.
Okay. So then, the first thing that I want to know about you is how did you learn about the program? And did you have any previous encounters before joining UMI?
Any previous encounters with the UMI student?
No.
Oh,
Just one.
oh no, not really. I learned about the program from my teammate, Kurede Griffin, and another student that goes here by the name of Kimberly. And they brought me to the program, and before that, I had no idea what it was. But ever since I've been in the program, it's been beneficial to, my schoolwork and things like that. It's helping me graduate on time and register for classes.
Prior to joining the program, did you have any perceptions about it, what it was, even about hearing the name, what it meant to you?
No, I didn't have any perceptions about it. The only thing that I thought it was, I just like it is now. I thought it was a mentoring program. So, and I was always the person, be like overly confident, like, oh, I don't need mentoring, like I don't need help and things like that. But then kind of find out that it actually helps me out a lot. So, prior judgment to the program will be wrong if you don't know what it is.
So, as a team, what has UMI has provided for you? Like, what services have we provided for you?
Being that I was a student athlete and I'm team oriented, I feel like it gives me like, a sense of family, like being on the basketball team, a sense of family, somebody that's always there for you, like being able to talk to the coordinator, Maria Vidal, about certain issues that I'm dealing with in school, and she's always on top of me when I'm trying, making sure I get my schoolwork done. And like I said, just a family, and that somebody's like, other than yourself, wants to help you prepare to graduate. Because, basically my family is in Miami, so it's nice to have somebody else up here that helps me.
So, you know that we have 3 spaces.
Mm-hmm.
How have you utilized these spaces to the benefit as a college student?
Well, I'm always in the lab. That's where I get most of my homework done. I utilize the lab a lot. Like when I first get to school, that's the first place I go. I drop off my bag, I use the locker in there. That's where the majority of that's where all my school books are. In the lounge, I always come in here when I want to relax, socialize, warm up my food, keep stuff in the fridge. In the mentor resource room, I go there to do my homework in case the lab is full or I just need a space, like a quiet space just to refocus. So I utilize all the spaces on a daily.
Okay, so you mentioned prior to the question, you mentioned about you being an athlete and you feeling that the need of a family is very essential to you. Can you expand more about that and how throughout the time that you've been in UMI, how has that helped you not only as a college student but as a person as well?
I'm very family oriented. Like I was raised by like my grandmother, my mother, and and I'm big on family. So it's like I feel like everything that I do, like my family should be included. And like I said before, being so far away from like people that that are my family, like the people that raised me, it was just like I needed something to look forward to every day. Like coming to school, it's like I was coming to school, I was like basically lonely, other than like being with my teammates and stuff like that. Like I needed another outlet. And, UMI provided that for me. It provided people that I could come talk to, or people that would make me laugh, like outside of basketball or things like that. It helped me. It helped me a lot, like get through school, like like frustration wise. It helped me remain calm and things like that.
Okay. You mentioned that you were a senior. You're
Mhm.
about to graduate.
Mhm.
Um, how do you plan to take these experiences outside of John Jay?
Well, when I first got into the program, like the coordinator said, like I was an extrovert. I guess she would say that a lot. I don't even know why she said that because you can see I'm pretty personable. Um, but she said I was an extrovert. I didn't like to talk a lot, but I guess being in the program, it made me network more. It made me comfortable to speak to others, like speak in front of large crowds, speak in front of the camera. You know, now I'm like more outgoing. Like I'll speak to anybody. Like I don't really care. Like I'll, like answer on the dime. Like I wouldn't mind being the center of attention. So in a career field, I guess when I get like into the career field, like I'm not gonna be shy to state the ideas that I have in the business world or anything like that. So it helped out.
Um, One good question that I want to ask you is overall, in a general stance, how has UMI impacted your life?
Impacted my life, in many ways. Just but let me narrow it down. I feel like it gave me lifelong bonds with like a lot of people, because now when I first got here, and then, like after my first 2 years, I was just like, I'm definitely going back to Miami. Like it's easy, but now it's just like it's getting more difficult to leave like certain people here because like we're all friends and things like that. So it's like it gave me a lifelong bond. I feel like if anything I need like career wise, like I don't only have to go to like Miss Vidal. Like I go to certain friends that I have in here, and then we all help each other. Like, oh, you need to look for an internship, or you need to look for this. Like we all help each other. We all want to see each other succeed. So a lifelong bond with others that are gonna help me, succeed in life. So that's the most important thing.
Um, has there been a particular experience in the years of being in John Jay that UMI has helped you go through? So like any experience that you want to share?
Um, uh, I'm gonna try to keep this as vague as possible. Yeah, there was an experience last year, where I was pretty stressed over like a whole ordeal that happened with the organization in the school, and I used to come into the office every day mad, and my friends in the program and the coordinator used to talk to me, tell me calm down, they'd be like, don't worry about it, like now you know where this stands, and basically still to this day I kind of have an issue with that certain program in the school, but I just like being in UMI helped me like just forget about everything that I've done for that program, because UMI, like this program, they how do I say it in other words, like UMI, like they embraced me, they let me know that okay, like you did a lot for them, but you also did a lot for us. So don't feel bad, like we cherish what you've done for us. They might not cherish it, but we do. So it helped me forget about like you know the dishonesty and things like that that happened with the other program. So
Great. For the final question is, I want you to look at the camera and talk to the prospective students that will be joining college, and will be joining John Jay, and will be joining UMI. And I want you to give them some advice in something, just to let them know, like if any remarks you want to talk.
all honesty, you might come into the school thinking that you know it all because you're young, or like me, you don't need a mentor, or you don't need like somebody to guide you. But that's wrong. All the help that you need, all the help that you would want is in this program. Like this program will help you succeed. It will help you get further. It will help you get to a certain level that you thought you couldn't reach. When you thought you would peak, this program will bring out more out of you. So just don't assume that you know everything. Just don't assume that you have everything intact in your life, because the meetings that you have with people in this program will let you know that, yeah, you're doing good, but you could do better, and you're not where you're supposed to be. So that's basically what this program has done for me, and it will do that for you as well.
Great. Is there anything else you want to mention? Anything you want to highlight somebody or anything else?
I love y'all. I love the camera lady, Juju, Ulacey, and I love, Miss Vidal. She ain't in here right now. Jared, prior graduate, basketball team, Gino, Crede. I love everybody.
And that's it?
Yeah.
That's it. Thank you.
Oh, I forgot to shout.
So we're gonna start from the top. We're gonna do
Recording.
college experience.
Yes, recording from that sentence there. Okay. Can you hear me now? Okay.
So we're going back to our question on how would your college experience be different if this program was not around?
Okay. So as as a college student, as a freshman, I've experienced a lot of troubles. I lost somebody very dear from my family. I didn't know where I was. I felt very alienated. I felt like things weren't going my way. I felt very sad, and I felt very confused to what was going on in my life. So the fact that I saw this program, and this program helped me so much that at the end of the day, I've never been so thankful for for an entity such as UMI to have helped me go and keep going. I was in a position where I didn't even know that if I was worthy to live. I felt very confused, and I felt very sad, and I felt very not in the moment. And there were many things that were happening around me around that time. And then coming to UMI was of a relief, so to say, because I didn't know nothing about myself, and it was just a very confusing time. So if it wasn't for UMI, I wouldn't even be right here in this seat. Yeah.
Okay. So I want to get a little bit more about UMI. So what services has UMI provided for you?
Not only did it help me learn about John Jay as a campus, but it has helped me about building strengths that at the end of the day you could help in a career setup, which I've developed throughout the years that I've been here. I've learned how to not only cope with the fact that I got to deal with 5 classes, but not only that, but I can participate in other things and manage my time well. That at the end of the day, I can be myself and learn myself through all of these experiences. So, and not only that, but I have a support system in this offices, in the lab, in the lounge, in the mental research room that I can develop myself. And it's very helpful that such a group like UMI has helped me develop myself.
So how have you utilized the spaces that the program uses to serve its students? So you touched upon the lab and the lounge. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Well, all these spaces, again, we started that first cohort, we started in a little closet room. It was a very small room, and there were a lot of people in that room. So the fact that we developed to then the lounge, which was huge for us. It was just like I was amazed that from that little space to this big space, we can come in, talk to our mentors, develop ourselves, go through classes, go through struggles. And then not only that, but the fact that we even got even more room to do homework, to talk to our mentors, to doing all these things, to being a mentor and a mentee at the same time, All these spaces, they serve a lot of purpose into the message of UMI. It's just to help students through these times, because it's not easy being a college student. Never has. These years that I've been a student, specifically a college student, I've gone through intense change. But at the end of the day, I feel like UMI has helped me immensely to the development of my character and my career path.
Thank you for that. How have the services that we have given you helped you through your college experience?
At the end of the day, the services that I've gotten from UMI, although they help towards, classes or my major or my minors, at the end of the day, what I value the most is that at the end of the day, I can go to someone in the school and feel like I am cherished. Because, again, when I came into John Jay, I felt very alienated and I didn't know where to go. So then every time that I see somebody that looks lost, because, you know, after UMI, I've taken all of these great points to make, and I've taken them with me everywhere that I go. So then when I'm in a room, I hope that I don't make anybody feel that they're not wanted in a space. And I feel like that's one of the main things that UMI has given me, just teach and, you know, make people comfortable in a situation when they're not. So then I know that at the end of the day, I have a person in John Jay College that I can rely to, which is Maria, my mentor.
So how do you plan to take the experience you received at UMI outside of John Jay?
Well, it's uncommon because it is a criminal justice school to hear that what I want to pursue at the end of my college career is to be a film director. I really believe that in the way that we perceive things and we see things, it impacts us, especially that we're in a time where technology and visual effects are very in there, that you can see. I want to take that, the learning that I've done, the research that I've done, the images that we don't have in the industry, that at the end of the day I can be that person who shows that. Because I know when I grew up, I didn't have people that looked like me in film. I know that, you know, they don't look like me. So I hope I can be that person that once that little girl a long time ago saw on TV can look and say, oh, she looks like me. So yeah, that's my goal. I want to become a film director and I want to be a producer.
So my next question is, how has UMI impacted your life, and how do you see yourself as a professional after being in this program?
I feel like all the things that I've learned in UMI, I can take anywhere I go. I feel like, you know, you are your own person, but you learn through your experiences. And I feel like every experiences that I've done in this environment, at the end of the day, I feel like I can better, in a sense, their spaces. Yeah, everything that I've done here, it's been great. I feel like at the end of the day, if it wasn't for UMI, I wouldn't be the person that I am today. So in a general sense, I feel like everything that I've done here, you know, working with people, working as a leader, becoming a leader, which I wasn't, I wasn't a leader, you know, now that I've become a leader, I hope I can lead others to doing their passions and making things that at the end of the day are fruitful for their own benefit.
You kind of answered our last question, but I guess just to be clear, what's one piece of advice you can give to prospective college students or those joining the college about UMI and about this experience?
At the end of the day, don't feel threatened to ask, why is this happening? I feel like this is the thing that I say the most, because what stopped me from making these decisions and at the end of the day becoming who I am is because I didn't ask. But then when I started asking why, starting learning why, at the end I feel like it benefited me for the best, because I've become what I wanted to be, and it gives me space to become even better than what I am now. So to anyone that's looking at this video and is looking for a sense of belonging, don't give up yet. Look for that space that you feel like that is going to help you and grow with them, because that's how you learn through experiences. Just grow and just hope for the best, because you never know what's going to happen.
Thank you.
One thing that I'll say about UMI that I've never seen before in any space in John Jay College is the family structure that I built here. When I was young, I've always been a big fan, and I've learned through this throughout the years that family is what stands together as a collective. And as a woman of color, as a people of color, we don't have those support systems where we can come and rely and become ourselves, because we're so pressurized with all these things in the media and at home or wherever you come from. So at the end of the day, just keep going. Look forward and believe in yourself, despite what anybody says. Despite what anybody says, keep going forward. Because if you're not, then who else? Okay, done. Oh, God. All right, so first of all, I just wanted to thank you for being here. I really appreciate that you took the time out of your day to come and do this video for your mind. And just to mention, if I ask you any questions, just please rephrase it in your own answers. So, for example, I'm going to ask you, how long does it take you to come from?
It takes me an hour and so.
No, it's gonna be. You have to say. It takes me from my house to John Jay to get to John Jay in about approximately 15 to 10 minutes. You know, you have to add the question to your answer. Okay.
Can I answer it? It takes me an hour to get from my house to John Jay. Does that work too?
Yeah. Yeah.
As long as it's a statement that includes the answer, right?
The question, yeah. All right.
The question.
All right. So, just to start, what's your name, your major in John Jay, and your year?
Are we on?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so my name is Eric. I'm a junior and I'm studying political science and economics, but more specifically, international security and political economy.
Okay. How long does it take you to come from your home to John Jay?
It takes me an hour to get from my house to John Jay.
Any crazy traffic or something like that?
Sometimes the MTA is really frustrating, but that's about it.
All right. So how did you learn about UMI and any previous encounters before deciding to join?
Well, I was really adventurous my freshman year. I still am. But the reason how I found UMI was I was walking around school and I saw this little entrance to a little, I don't know, it looked like an interesting place. Without even looking at it, so I decided to just follow the signs, make the left, then make the other right, and there it was, a little space.
Okay. So did you have any perceptions, like did you hear before, like from another encounter, like do you have any perceptions about the program prior to joining?
Prior to joining, I didn't have any perceptions of UMI, because when I first came in, I saw a group of students sitting in a table over there, and it just seemed like a very calm, friendly, chill place. And I thought my conception at first was it was just a place for people to relax and wind down and hang out with friends. But as time went on, I started to realize the mission of UMI, which was to retain students of color and graduate them.
So what services have we provided for you?
Well, for starters, it has provided like a sense of belonging. In my freshman year, I started joining different clubs, organizations, and UMI was one of those places. Aside from that, I have also gotten good recommendation letters that have landed me in places like Cambridge, Massachusetts, the Community Service Corps, and other programs that had shaped me into what I am today. And aside from that, I've also recently gotten the chance to become a mentor and start, focusing not only on my success, but also on the success of other people. And that's a skill that I think you have to develop as you get older.
Good, good, good. So you spoke right now about being a mentor. Can you tell me more about the Peer Advocates program and the involvement that you've done with your mentees and other mentees?
Well, the Peer Advocate program started about 2 years ago, if I'm correct. We are the second cohort of peer mentors, and our job is to guide mentees, usually freshmen and sophomores, as they navigate their college careers. And my experience so far, it's been good. I have 4 mentees on my wing, and it's really good to be able to know that you have people that can benefit from your experiences and make different successes in their own.
Okay. What are some experiences throughout your John Jay years that you want to talk about and that UMI has helped you develop those? So any programs and any other thing that you've joined because UMI has told you? And go into detail.
Well, because of some connections that UMI has with other departments in the school, I was encouraged to join the honors program and the community service corps. And those opportunities in themselves were pretty good.
Can you further into that? Like, what is your experience because you've been from UMI? How have you developed? You know?
From my experience.
Yes.
So the question was, how has UMI helped me? Like, how did it launch me into other opportunities?
Because you started here, you know, because you started from UMI, like how is that experience going to other spaces too?
Okay.
As at the end, a representative of UMI.
Of course.
How is that going?
Well, in my freshman year, we had Caesar, and he emphasized a lot of involvement, and aside from studying, you also had to join clubs and develop yourself outside from that. So you have staff here at UMI that recognize the importance of extracurriculars, and that's sort of what influenced my decision to embark on activities outside of the classroom. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
So we have 3 spaces. How have you utilized those spaces to your own benefit as a college student?
Well, computer labs are always useful for college students, so that's one way. And the lounge is a very comfortable place, especially when I meet with my mentees. It's couches. It's more like a conversation, so it helps set up that mentorship atmosphere. Third space.
The mentoring system?
Oh, right. I don't use that really.
Okay. Okay, so then, has there been a specific event or instance where you've dealt with something and you can be as honest as you want as an entity, you mind what they have done for you in a specific moment?
Let me think about that for a
Yeah.
second. You mean like a negative event?
Whichever event that has impacted your view as a college student to now, that you're a mentor, that you're the face. You're one of the faces of UMI. So from there to now, and how does that event specifically has impacted you as a college student?
I'm not sure I understand the question.
Okay, let's move on to another one. Okay. Now that you're about to graduate,
Yeah.
you're a senior, right?
I'm a junior.
A junior, and you're almost about to graduate. How do you plan to take these experiences and these opportunities to outside of John Jay?
Well, in my time at UMI, I've seen upperclassmen become very professional and take those skills, take that persona into their into their careers after college. So, for example, we had somebody who Maria knew. She was an assistant manager at the Community Service Corp. And I remember the day she got the job, she came to Maria because I think she helped her. And, we've also had other mentors that have landed positions and academic acceptances in other places. So I guess what I would take away from UMI is that connections are important and that professionalism is important.
Yeah, good. So how has UMI impacted your life?
Well, it has provided me with like a welcome atmosphere. It has reinforced the idea that students of color belong at John Jay, and it has allowed me to secure opportunities at other places that have also contributed to my self-growth.
Okay. So then, the last question is, what is one thing you will tell prospective students? Like, people are going to see this video, and the campus is going to see this video. So at the end of the day, what is a message about UMI that you want to say to the world?
Well, if I was to put it in one statement, is academics are only about a quarter of your college experience. So if you're just in the classroom and going home afterwards, you're doing it wrong. You gotta, explore the campus, enjoy places like UMI, because they will allow you to develop skills and connections that will make you not only a successful student but also a better person.
Great, great. Any last remarks? Any things that you want to mention? Anything else that you want to speak on behalf on yourself or UMI?
Oh, sure. When I came to UMI, it was basically a room, right? We had a cubicle from Maria's office. We had a couple of tables and a couple of computers. And that was about 2 years ago. Since then, we have secured other spaces. We have more computers, more students. And I feel that UMI is only on the rise. And that is also evident by, the broader CUNY BMI program. And I think that reflects, priorities in terms of students of colors in higher education. It shows that education is becoming more accessible to minorities, and UMI is very helpful in that sense. So it's important to join programs like UMI that allow you to develop yourself.
All right, it's all good. Okay. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
no problem. My pleasure.
Love it. Let me start recording. So, shot 2. Okay, how does it look? Put the headphones and see if it sounds good. Careful. Oh yeah, no clicking. How does it sound? Pretty good? Okay. You can put one to the back. There you go. So you can hear me when we're talking. Hello.
Hi. So we're just going to start off with a couple of questions. What's your name? What's your major at John Jay? And what's your year?
All right. So my name is Julesi Aldain. I am a senior, and my major is English, and with 2 minors consisting of theater arts and film studies.
Okay. So my next question to you is, how long does it take you to come from your house to John Jay?
Usually, when it comes to coming from my house to John Jay, it takes me about like 45 minutes, depending on the traffic. Yeah, it's not that far. I live like in 145th, so it's pretty convenient, but at the same time, traffic is just a deal breaker. Either it's happening or it's not happening.
Okay. So now we're going to talk about UMI. And so how did you learn about the program? And did you have any previous encounters before deciding to join UMI?
Well, it was actually a very funny story the first time that I heard about UMI because I was in my English class and uh, it was a very strange time in my life because I didn't know where I was going and I felt very alienated from the school. I just recently graduated from high school that I knew everybody and it was very comfortable being there. And now that I'm in a new space and it's really big and I don't know what I'm doing, so it was a really strange experience. But then one day a friend, he mentioned that I should go to UMI. And I was like, what is that? And I said, Urban Male Initiative. And I was like, okay. So I walked and then I talked to the coordinator, which is Maria, and since then it's history, 5 years.
Okay. 5 years, a long time. What were your perceptions about the program? As a woman, what drew you to becoming a part of the Urban Male Initiative?
Well, yes, as the name says, Urban Male Initiative, I feel like throughout the time that I decided to come every day, and I experienced the family feel that I developed with these people. I feel like the name didn't matter to me anymore because at the end of the day, I learned that it targets everyone. It doesn't necessarily have to be a male, and that's the perception that we have that because it says a male initiative, it's only males, but it's not. At the end of the day, the purpose is to help students of color, predominantly males, to graduate because there is a lack of.
Okay. How would your college experience be different if this program was not around?
I usually joke about this sometimes. It's not a good joke, but around the time when I was transitioning from high school to college, I was going through a very big death in the family. The person that I saw as a father, my grandfather, but I saw him as a father. He passed away at that time, and I didn't have anybody to cope with and nobody to talk to, and many things were going through at that time that I felt alienated from all these places. So then the fact that I was going to a new school and I didn't know anybody, and yeah, it was really tough. And I ultimately I didn't know what I wanted to do. I felt uncomfortable. I felt unwanted. I felt many things that, as a transition from being 17 to 18, and now I got to make all these big decisions of like, what is it I want to major on, and what is it that I wanted to do with my life. It was very, very fast. So when I came to UMI, I feel like some of those problems at the end of the day were very when okay, so first of all, let me thank you for being here, for being part of this. So actually,
No
say
problem.
yes, because we really believe that you are a essential asset to the program. I want you to please, when you're answering your questions, relax, nothing crazy.
All right.
I want you to answer with the question. So if I ask you, how long does it take you to come from your house to John Jay, right? You're gonna answer that, right? So then you're gonna answer, it takes me from my house to John Jay about, just for
So you can understand. Okay.
Right. So then also be relaxed, nothing crazy.
Yeah.
And thank you again.
No problem.
Okay, so the first question is, state your name and your major and your year. So what are you right now?
My name is Bryce Vera. I'm a forensic psychology major and a writing minor, and I'm a senior.
All right, that's great. So how long does it take you from your house to John Jay?
To get to my house from John Jay, it takes roughly, on average, an hour and 15 minutes because I have to take a bus and a train.
Okay, that's good. You elaborate about have to take a bus and a train?
It's annoying sometimes, but I mean, that's the way, like, the reason I set up my classes or afternoon schedules is because by the time I get on the bus and the train, it's not really packed. So I set myself up to really make it an easy trip.
Okay, all good. So first real question is, how did you learn about the program, and did you have any prior encounters with the program before deciding to join?
Okay, so no, I didn't have any prior encounters with the program before I decided to join. And really, the way I got into the program is over the summer, right before my freshman semester started, I'd come in with my older cousin who was a senior at the time. We came because I had to go and pick out my classes for the upcoming semester. And, you know, I went through the whole thing. And before we left, he said, you know, hey, come with me real quick. I got to bring you somewhere. So, you know, I trusted him and I followed him to this place, and he brought me here to the my office. You know, back then, this was all it was. And all it was Maria at her desk. You know, back then, we called her Maria, not because, you know, we didn't have respect for her, but because we felt comfortable enough, and we actually respected her to the point where, you know, it felt right that we could just call her Maria. But regardless, he brought me here. He introduced me to the program. I got to speak to her. And from that moment on, I just felt so comfortable with the space that even when, you know, the first day started, I actually came back here on my own. I remembered where it was, and I just felt welcome enough to come.
Great, great. So then, when you joined, that first, you know, time or first few moments that you know, you began to come a lot to the office and the space, what were your perceptions? So how did you see it?
So when I first came here, I thought it was just a really cool place to hang out. I didn't know too many people then, so really I only came here to sit down in between classes, maybe go out to get some food. But it seemed like a really cool place because when I did start seeing it, you know, with a lot of people, it felt like a really nice environment, really friendly, because everybody was, you know, hanging out, joking around and laughing. So I thought it was an awesome environment.
Okay, okay. As the years go by, I want to know, how have you utilized the spaces in the program, and how do you use it, you know, for your benefit as a college student?
So even from the beginning, when it was just this space here with a bunch of computers, you know, I've written papers in here. I've relaxed in here when I needed to take the edge off. I, you know, watch videos. I hang out in here. I've even slept in here to the point where, well, now that we have other resources, you know, now I use the mentor resource room. As a mentee, I use it to meet with my mentors. Now as a mentor, I use it to meet with my mentees. And I even use the Learning Lab now for their computers to print out papers, to write papers and such. And really all of the spaces you can use for interacting, because we've grown so large that you can interact in any of the spaces.
Great, that's great. I want to know a specific time in your college experience that UMI has provided you with their services or their help. Is there any particular moment that you remember that you feel like, you know, has impacted you?
Well, first I'd just like to say that UMI was my entire college career, and I honestly probably wouldn't be here today without the program. But if I had to say, it'd honestly be this past semester, because thanks to this program, I now know what I want to do, you know, beyond graduation this coming spring. And, you know, coming into the semester, for the longest time, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I was just going with the flow. But now, you know, thanks to Miss Vidal's help and, you know, all of the opportunities I got involved with and all of the people that I got to meet, I have a set track, and I finally know what I want to do, and it honestly feels great.
That's good, that's good. How is your interactions, because you mentioned that you're a mentor,
Yes.
you know, the peer advocates program. Can you speak more about the peer advocates program, and also can you mention more about your encounters with your mentees?
So, one, I'd like to say the Peer Advocates program is an amazing program, and honestly, I feel like we need more programs like this. And I'm honestly even writing a paper in my English class about the importance of having a mentor, because it's really important to have somebody that you can go to and will help you, will guide you through, you know, how you want to get to what you want to be in life. Because when you do what people do and you say what people say, you get what they get every time. So you really have to learn from the people who do what you want to do and have what you want. So that's why it's just, you know, a great thing to be a part of this program. And so when I was a mentee, I looked up to my mentors. I always felt like I had somebody to talk to. I always felt like, all right, I'm being guided on the right track, even though, now that this is college, your parents aren't around anymore, but it still felt like, you had some guidance from somebody that you could relate to, somebody that was really close, almost like a big brother kind of figure. And now that I myself am a mentor, I feel that same kind of connection with my mentees, even though I kind of understand the struggles my mentor had when it's trying to, organize meetings and stuff. But I love every part of it. I love helping. I love meeting with my mentees to talk to them about how their life is going and how school is going, and it's just awesome.
All right. Now that you're graduating, as you mentioned, you are a senior.
Yeah.
You're a senior and you're about to graduate. How will you utilize these examples and these events that has happened throughout your college experience as getting a career, making your own career? How will you utilize those?
Well, everything that I've been through here has helped me grow exponentially since I first came here. It's because of the space I'm good at public speaking. I'm good at networking. I'm hardworking. I learned that I have a talent for writing, so I feel that mainly I could use my networking skills outside of this place to really connect with other people the same way I connect here. And I believe that's what's going to help me the most in the outside world getting a job, because I know professional people who know me all have good things to say about me, or at least I hope they do. And I feel like that's really important outside, because when you're a person like that, you're the type of person that they want to give a chance to. So I feel like just that kind of growth is what's going to help me out in the outside world.
Cool. So one of the big questions that I have here generally dives into how has UMI impacted your life. So can you please, just in the general sense, can you please tell me about how has UMI, as the entity as it is, how has it impacted you?
Well, UMI is, as I said before, UMI has been my entire college career. From the time I came in to even me coming out next semester, it's honestly been everything, the good and the bad. I've shared plenty of good times in here. I've had a couple bad times in here. I've learned a lot that I wouldn't have learned anywhere else. I've grown greater than I would if I had done anything else. So, I mean, the impact it's had on my life, I'm just a completely different person now. And I don't feel like I would have been this person had I done anything else, but I'm grateful for it, because I love who I grew to be, and I love the fact that, I notice how much I've grown. And this program has really just been everything to me, and I'm so grateful for everything.
That's great. One advice and one suggestion to people who might be watching this video, what is it that you want to tell them? Any remarks, any closing, any people that you want to highlight that you think they should be mentioned in the video?
I want to highlight everyone that's ever been a part of this program, because this is a great thing to be a part of, and really just thank you for everything. If I've known you, if I haven't, still thank you for letting this program be what it is and get it to where it is today. And any advice I have is just stick with it and try. And on top of that, cherish the time you have, because it flies. I still remember first coming into this space, and now just seeing how much it's grown in these 4 years, short years. You just got to enjoy all of it and just keep going. I know there's going to be times where it gets tough. I know there are going to be times where you have no idea where you're going to go, but you're going to get there. Things are going to turn out all right if you stick with it. So just keep it going and don't give up, because the only time you lose in life is when you give up.
That's amazing, Bryce. I cannot thank you enough for your kind words.
Thank you.
Any other comments, something nice, something funny that you want to say about your mind, your family, that family structure? Do you want to talk about that? Do you feel like you want to mention that structure?
Yeah, so this definitely is a family structure, and I just want to say, I love all of you. Thank you for being like a second family to me, and that's it.
That's it?
Yeah.
All right. It's all good. Give me a laugh. All right.
Got you.
You're all good.
All right.
That's it.
Thank you.
Come on.
All right.
So, Jared, thank
Hello.
you very much for participating in this video. I really appreciate that you took a time out of your day to come and film this amazing opportunity that we have for UMI. Also, I just wanted to remind you when you answer these questions that I'm going to ask you about UMI to please restate the question. For example, so if I ask you, what's your name and your major, you're going to say, my name is, or my major is. You have to include these because it will make it way easier.
Got it.
So please have fun.
Okay.
Nothing nervousness, nothing crazy, and just have fun. Just show the camera what UMI is about.
All
That's
right.
basically what I want.
Of course.
So the first question is, what is your name, your major, or what's your major, and your year, or if you are an alumni.
Okay. So my name is Jared Thomas. What my major is forensic psychology, and I minored in Africana Studies and English, and I am an alumni of John Jay.
Great. Sounds great. From your home to John Jay, how does it take you? How long did it take you to take transportation?
So how long did it take me to get to John Jay? It was about anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes, depending on there's train traffic. Then it took me a little bit longer than 45 minutes, but pretty much a short trip.
Great. So how is it that you learned about this program, and any previous encounters before deciding to join UMI?
So how I learned about UMI, I was about 16, 17. I learned about the COPE program when it was still at John Jay. And I went to a COPE orientation. And back then, the program assistant, Chad, he made a presentation at the COPE orientation, and he talked about this wonderful program. And he talked about like them being like almost like a posse and kind of walking through students through the college experience. And I'm like, I want to do that. I really want to do that. So as nervous as I was, and as timid, if I could even say I was timid, I walked up to Chad after and I was like, can you tell me a little bit more about this Urban Male Initiative, or UMI as been come to known. And then after he walked me over to the coordinator's office, Maria Vidal, and she sat with me and she discussed the program with me. And I was like, oh, it sounds great. It sounds great.
All right, that's great. Were there any perceptions prior to joining and after joining UMI that you want to speak about?
I guess just any perceptions I think of before joining UMI was definitely, I was a college freshman, so didn't really know what to expect from college, especially I was first generation. So I think what I expected was maybe to kind of feel like an other, but after joining UMI, that was not the case, actually. I actually was able to connect with lots of the staff members and also to connect with students, and a lot of us noticed that a lot of us were first generation, or a lot of us just didn't know how to navigate the college process, and we kind of did it together. We did it together. We kind of made sure that we were able to build each other up while we were here.
Amazing. So what services has UMI provided for you in the years that you were here as a college student and beyond?
I mean, the services that UMI has provided for me while I was here, I can't even count them. I think a lot of the services definitely was talking about academics. So being able to have that one-on-one attention where necessarily you might not get that from another program about, okay, this is what I kind of want to take, or this is where I kind of want to do what I want to do with my schedule, and for UMI to kind of sit down with me and make me feel so important and not just a number, and say, okay, this is what you want to take, but here you might want to look at my professor, or you want to talk to some of the UMI students prior who have had this professor. So I think that one-on-one attention and even just being a resource for resources on campus. And I wouldn't have been a Vera Fellow had it not been for UMI. I probably wouldn't have even been introduced to student life had it not been for UMI, and all these other things and careers. So it's very resourceful being here, and I think that's the biggest thing that I got from UMI was the resources.
Great. You speaking about that, you said about the services. So then, can you speak more about any specifics on like what exactly day-to-day basis was like, and like how did that day-to-day basis experience with UMI sort of was like the family, you know?
Okay.
How did that change your views of college?
So I think, well, not I think, I know. I know coming into UMI, it was kind of shaky, but just those daily interactions were, I think those are the things that really kept me here. I think it's one thing for you to enter a program and you are set up with someone and you're like, okay, these are the people that are in this program with me, but it's another thing for you to come in and feel comfortable. So I think as long as I was here, I felt very comfortable. I felt very comfortable to express myself. We engaged in very different conversations. We came in, we all said hello. When we saw each other throughout school, we would say hello to each other. When we had events, we would show up and show out because we were here together and we were a family. And I think even so, now that I'm not at John Jay, we are still very family oriented. We make sure that we call each other every so often, congratulate each other on our opportunities and things moving forward. And it's very interesting because the culture that we created in UMI has lasted even now that some of us are not here. So being part of the first cohort, I think really we are very invested still to this day, even to the underclassmen that we may not know as well, but we still kind of come back and give back. I know that many of us from the first cohort have come back multiple times and talked to different kinds of students and different kinds of things and asking them about their experience in UMI.
Great. So now that you're an alumni and you graduated, as you mentioned, how do you take the same things that you did here, you know, the family oriented, the resources that we gave you and UMI, you know, how do you use that now that you have a job, or now that you have other experiences outside of John Jay College?
So how do I utilize what I learned from UMI in my professional experience? I think, so currently I'm an admissions and communications coordinator for a nonprofit organization called Boys Hope, Girls Hope, which is an urban boarding college preparatory program. So very much so I'm working with the same population that UMI is students of color, but they're high school students. And I think just one thing I try to do and try to utilize all the time is making it comfortable. So I have my own office. My door is always open, as it was in UMI. That's one thing. That's one big thing I learned. Like, if you're going to work with students, you need to have an open door policy. My door is always open. Students have sat, mind you, these students don't know me that well. They sat and cried in my chair, you know, talked about life with me. And I think just giving students my time is very important. As somebody gave me their time while being in UMI. I don't know where it was. There were countless times or countless crises I had while I was in UMI, and I felt like I could just come in, no matter who it was, whether it be a student or it be Maria or Chad or whoever, just kind of say, this is my problem, this is what's happening, even with like tears in my eyes or anything, and I could just be there. And I think that's one thing that I've taken, is that giving students your time and your energy, even though you can be tired, you can be anything, but just giving students that time is very important. And it's really helped me because giving students that time, they trust me, they open up, and so when it comes down time to like be real, they get it.
All right. I want you to share with me a particular story or event that has happened in the 4 years of your, you know, college experience that you want to share to the camera and you want to share to the world that really changed, you know, involving your mind. Like, it did change your perception on like college as a student and as an adult and as a scholar.
Wow, okay. So I guess one story I can share, I guess, is definitely, so my junior year at UMI, and in college in general, junior year is very stressful and very much so, like, lots of things were happening. I was involved in the Vera Fellows program, and I was just doing different things, lots of different things, being involved in student life, running my own organization. And I guess personally, I felt like I wasn't worthy enough. Things weren't happening. And I felt that, ooh, look at me right now. I felt that like I couldn't go on, I couldn't do anything, and I just wanted to be out. I just wanted to be out of college, out of life in general. And I think had I not had the support system that I had from UMI, I probably would not be here, and I did not see myself in these spaces that I now occupy. I think had I not had a support system that junior year, I probably wouldn't be here. But I think it's most important for me to like reiterate that family support system was so important, that I was having trouble with those things, and I was able to talk to someone, or to actually talk to several people in the space and say, I don't feel like I want to be here. This is not what I want to do. I don't want to be here at all. And then just kind of like talking, and even referring me out to different services and saying, you should talk to someone else. We're the family, but you can always come back and talk to us. But maybe you need an extra step to kind of go forward. And I think UMI saved my life. It did. It did, and I think it's going to save more lives than just mine.
I feel like you covered the question, the last question that I wanted to ask you beautifully. But if you have a message to prospective students and people who are watching this video, what is it that you want to share to the world, about this program? Because ultimately the purpose of this video is to share not only to John Jay College as a campus, but to other programs around the country that we want to further, to build these types of family-infused safe spaces. Like, what is it that a message, to these people that they don't have those houses or those spaces? What can you say to them?
So I guess my one piece of advice would be, if you feel comfortable in a space and you feel open to sharing, stay. No matter how tough things get, the people in those spaces will help you feel comfortable. You guys may not always agree, and which is what family does to you, but you definitely have to be willing and open to being received. And I know oftentimes it's very hard for us in general as people of color. Like, we don't want to get too close. We don't want to get too attached and emotional, because change happens, and change is the only constant in the world. But I think you need to just open up to people that are here to help you, and know that they're here in general to watch you grow, and that they don't want you to stop growing. Even long after you leave their arms, they want you to continue to grow. So I think just be open and open-minded, and once you find those people, be as transparent as possible with them, because they will be as transparent as possible with you.
All right, I feel like this is it. Any other comments, questions, a laugh you want to make? Something that you want to show to the camera, that this is your space. Anything else that you want to say? Any do you want to say something to a person, a specific person? You want to hit it with Maria or somebody else?
I guess just one thing. This video will outlast everyone that is in UMI currently, because we all do have to move on. But anybody in the future, you guys, or in the past, you guys can reach out to me. I'm always around. And thanks, UMI and Maria.
And that's it. Good shit, yo.